All right, welcome back. How was the break? Yeah, who went somewhere? Raise your hand. Where'd you go?
We went to Florida.
Oh yeah, did the baseball games in Florida. You were 5-4, 9 games, won 5, lost 4. Got it on that, right? Yeah. What was like high 80s? I mean high 70s?
Yeah.
High 70s. Nice. Who else? Oh, you're in Florida too? Did you want to leave? Come back?
I think it's gonna come along. There might have been.
Want to say that?
Yeah, it was gonna be.
Okay. Who else? Anybody going anywhere? Home? Where's home?
Michigan.
So Michigan? What part? Nice. Michigan too? Oh, yeah, St. Louis. All right, nice. I hope you all are refreshed. I think a previous class left some cookies. If anybody wants, kind of like a soft chocolate chip. Cookies. Help yourself to those. All right, we are in week 10. It's gone pretty quick, right? We do have scheduled today marketing team assignment 2 on the syllabus. How are we looking with that? Raise your hand if you have completed that. Okay, can you have it completed by Tuesday to present with your, yes? Okay. All right, we'll pick that up on Tuesday. All right, so, kind of lost the week of the spring break, so we're gonna go over chapter 9 today. We're looking at intangibles, and products and services, and all of that. All right, so we're gonna look at consumer offerings, intangible products. We'll look at product lines, product depth, product width. How do we categorize these different offerings we have for different types of consumers who have different needs and different behaviors? How do we make adjustments? We'll talk about product life cycle. Every product has a life cycle. Introduction into the market, a growth stage potentially, the maturity where it kind of levels out, and eventually a decline. And depending on where you are in that product life cycle, you have to make adjustments. What do we do? Right? We change the label. We decrease our price. If we decrease our price, we change the perception of who we are. We increase our price, so we no longer buy it. Right? All these different things. So there's a constant need for change as we develop products and services. Right? We'll talk about a little bit about value. Right? This great abstract concept of value. What is value? What is value to you when it comes to products and services? How could you describe the term value? Yes.
I just like what it means to like habits and stuff like what does it mean to me? Like is it important to me to what I need?
You're like, all right, as a consumer, how important is it? How important is it to me in terms of what I pay for it? Like, man, as far as exceeds my expectations, I get a lot of usage out of it for what they charge, I'll buy it. Or you see a price and you're like, nah, I don't think it's worth what they're trying to buy at. Anyone else have a different description of value? Right? As marketers, we're constantly trying to add value in some way. We're like, hey, how do we increase value? We lower price. We make it, we add accessories to it. We innovate the technology. We change the packaging. So we make it more accessible, quicker to get. right? We have to figure out like a different strategy constantly to say, how do we keep increasing value to the product? Take Apple iPhone for example. You're like, all right, where is, if we have 4 stages in product life cycle, we say introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. Where is the iPhone in those stages? Where's the iPhone? Where do you think it is within the market? Is it in the growth stage, the maturity stage, or decline stage? What do you think? You gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna ask what the options were, as you said.
Well, we know it already got educated, so is it growing, is it growth, is it mature, meaning kind of level out in terms of sales and its offering, what you can do with an iPhone? Or you're like, is it on a decline? Hey, they don't really innovate the iPhone now. They just throw out different iterations. What do you think? Where's the iPhone? Last year. What do you think? The iPhone, is it still innovative? Each time they come out with a new one, we're at 16? What? Or you like, nah, people just buy it because they just get iPhone? Yeah.
I feel like the iPhone is starting to not decline, but like everybody just buys the iPhone, or some users buy it just for the name, or it's just because it's the biggest thing. But I also think that it comes with its benefits because there's a newer camera every year, or there's newer features that you may have on the last iPhone.
Okay. So you feel like they are increasing the value in some way to customers by having a better camera, quicker processing?
So it's the little things.
Yeah.
I feel like in terms of innovation, they've like, kind of held back. I feel like they're focusing more on keeping it compact, like smaller, more simple, easier to use. Where I feel like other companies like, more of a creative aspect of that, making things like forward focusing, all that stuff.
All right, so, I hear it's like, hey, Apple may have reached its cap with innovation, so like, well, what do we do to reach the cap? Maybe we make it easier to use the phone, right? Like, the strategy, whereas other companies may be really innovative, right? Adding like really creative features that, people can use to explore all sort of aspects of the device. You're gonna say something here?
Yeah, I was gonna say like, I've always been seeing innovative iPhones, like takers and stuff like that. Like people who use it like, I do they're not like too big and take stuff. They probably just see that, it's another iPhone. Like most of the stuff they improve, like camera quality, processing speed and stuff, which the general population probably wouldn't notice. Always more because of that.
All right, so I'm hearing, hey, Apple kind of maxed out on the general population, because, hey, this is a better camera, faster phone. But maybe they focus more on the more tech needs, right? Because it's like, hey, you know what you can do with this phone now, right? In order to work on your applications, or, things that you're trying to sell, or augmented reality, things of that nature. Right? Something to think about. Like, well, they have to develop a new strategy at each point, right? Doesn't mean just give up and keep the same strategy. If you do, you kind of find yourself losing out for the most part. All right, so product. What is a product? We say something that's tangible, can be stored, can be sold to consumers. Example: groceries, tires, and clothing. A physical thing. You can store it somewhere. It has sort of touch, tangible aspect to it. What is a service? Intangible, cannot be stored, right? Can be provided to consumers for a fee. Example, a haircut, right? A haircut is a service that we do. Maybe you can argue that the final product is the haircut itself, but primarily it's intangible, cannot be stored, can be provided for a fee. An oil change, or say tutoring. And then the customer experience, which is probably the most important thing. We're like, hey, whether it's a product or a service, we have an experience with it. Well, what was your experience when you get your coffee? I get to wait a line. Like, I don't know, man. Right? Oh, they charged more than what I thought. I didn't like what I paid at the end of the transaction. I wasn't happy with that. Right? We went up on coffee or something. They were out of cream. They were out of sugar. The ambiance really sucked. It was dry and gloomy in there. All these things that matter. You're like, hey, what's your total experience? When I go to a restaurant, I want the best view, a gorgeous view. I want the ambiance in the restaurant to be really, really nice so I can remember, make a memory. And now like the food could be good. Doesn't have to be the greatest. Now if I want great food, usually here in Chicago, it's a hole in the wall. Like the food is great. The place might get a little dingy looking, might get shot in the way over there. But the food is great. So I'm willing to compromise that, right? So we say like, hey, we all have different expectations with that experience. Like, how is the food? What's the best? What about the danger of going to get the food? Like, I don't like that too. I live over here. Right? It has value. So you say, what's the experience? So over somewhere downtown, really nice, fancy schmancy, you get the view, the ambiance, the nice classicals, music and background. Presentation is gorgeous, and the food, the food's good, it's just good. It's not great. Someone have their hand up. So you say experience, what is your experience with your laptop? What is your experience with your phone? Like, oh, phones come in handy, it does my thing with you. With the MacBook, right? So here, give an example. Food in a fine dining restaurant is exceptional, yet the service fell short. Right, so we say we get two things. We get a physical product, something we eat, food in a restaurant, but we also get the service. And now the waiter was rude, right? They never really came back to attend. They never poured another glass of wine. Sitting here with no order at all. They weren't attentive. They weren't really engaging. They weren't funny. They were dry. You ain't paying a lot of money and expect more than that. Therefore, I'm not coming back. Right? My experience sucks. So we say, hey, there's sort of a threshold, right, between a pure product and a pure service. Here to say on the far left is food purchased from a store, pure product. Cooking lesson is a pure service. Food purchased in a restaurant is a little bit of both. Both the product and the service. Eating the food, the ambiance, the wait staff, right? All of that matters as part of your experience. How do we classify products, right? We need to organize things so that we know what kind of consumers we need to reach and how do they behave. Convenience products, milk, eggs, bread, water, toothpaste, dishwasher. These are just essentials. Like everybody needs them, right? Everybody needs to brush their teeth, soap, right? Everybody needs basic things. Eggs in the morning, maybe eat eggs, right? Milk, bread, essentials. And then there's shopping. Meat, wine, most clothing, shoes, cosmetics, massage, nails, car insurance. Right? Then we have things like specialty, exclusive things, luxury, high-end clothing. Right? Nice, what kind of car? I don't want to get, I don't know, a Tesla or something. A wedding venue or a wedding ring. Like this only for a special occasion. You don't really use it that often. It's kind of exclusive. And there's some unsold consumer products, such as life insurance, burial insurance, fire extinguisher, mechanic. Things that are unexpected. Right? You don't expect to die soon, but you might. So get some life insurance. You're like, hey, maybe bless you, have to worry about my children or family, make sure that the burial is taken care of, things of that nature. Fire extinguisher, you don't expect a fire, but it's really nice to have one available. Fire extinguisher just in case it happens. And a mechanic on hand if your car starts to back up. All right, now let's look at the price of convenience products. It says low, usually very cheap prices, affordable. This is a habitual automatic purchase process that involves low comparison shopping. We don't have to think much. Usually, we buy at your local grocery store, whatever one is nearest to you, or we buy online, we probably buy from the same sort of thing online, whether it be Target, Mariano's, Whole Foods, something like that. The distribution, widespread, several retail outlets, right? Several different Targets, several different Mariano's, several different Trader Joe's and Whole Foods to select from. Shopping, low to mid price. Time spent on the consumer decision process and comparison shopping for price and quality. Right, when we're looking at good meats, we're looking at good wines, we're looking at clothing, you're gonna compare to other retailers. Right, or shoes, you're like, oh, I'm gonna go on Amazon, eBay, TikTok Shop, oh, Nike.com. You know, so go to all these different places before I make a final decision. Selective distribution at retail outlets that match customer and brand type for shopping. Next, we got your specialty. We say the price is usually high because it has a specific brand or product in mind, means little comparison shopping. Typically, this is special purchase with a lot of land, right? We said it has exclusive distribution at one or few select retail outlets. If it's Gucci, there's really only a handful of Gucci stores in Chicago, right? They wanna go down there. It costs a lot of money to probably plan for it, right? Because it's a lot of money being spent. Then unsold, the price can be variable, right? But it can be either or, high or low. Consumers unaware or uninterested, so they exert little thought or comparison shopping. Variable distribution depends on the product. Usually you may have somebody to kind of help you with the information for these types of products, right? We have an agent, a broker for a home, or life insurance, or health insurance, someone who can give you information so they can inform you. All right, so what are the classifications of business and industrial products? We got raw materials, right? These are needed to make the consumer good. We got manufactured materials and parts used to create the products, such as machines, we can think of. Capital items, right? Whenever you see the word capital, we're talking usually about money, finance, something of the sort. So those are assets that are valuable to the business and have tangible value. We could say real estate is a capital asset, the machines themselves are a capital asset, right? They help us financially, maybe even our employees are a capital asset. And then we have supplies and services, goods and services that are typically disposed and do not contain a tangible value. Maybe that's our shipping, right? Our logistics network. It's intangible, but it really is important to the business. And here we have our three sort of product emphasis, we could say. Hey, and a core product, how can I solve the customer's product? The problem. Our actual product, what is the offering to solve the problem? And third, augmented product, what are other services to supplement the product? So as marketers, we have three different sort of main domains which we're concerned with. Hey, what product do we actually have to supply to the customer to solve a problem? But well, what's their problem? They're hungry. Hunger is a problem. All right, so we're in the business of satisfying hunger, right? Okay, well, what's the actual product? I don't know, let's sell tacos or hot dogs or pizza. Right? But, all right, that solves the problem for hunger for a specific group of people who have a taste or a preference for that. And then we got our augmented products, things to supplement that product. Like we need some options. If we're talking hot dogs, we're like, oh, we got Chicago style hot dogs, we got the Vienna beef hot dogs, and then we have chili dogs. And we give you some options there just with the hot dog. Right? So we want to have something available that the actual product that they sell. All right, here's our first discussion question. Explain the differences in the types of business and industrial products and give an example of each. I don't really like that question too bad. Think of some businesses that you know of and the different type of product offerings that they have, right? And what do you think really is the strategy for those different offerings? Why do they have those different sort of products developed? So I can give about 3-4 minutes with your groups. Let's see what we come up with. Think of some businesses and their products and how they differentiate their products and for what reason? For what customer?
I just don't understand it. Some of the stuff is like so yeah. It's like, I have this, our Bengals objective, make sure alright, that's just for cheese. It's like very much basically a company which does all those factors that is like one sleep. I think we should do that. We'll figure out if it's present
Not this year.
like running, for people who go jogging, right? Nike Jack casual, for people who not, for people playing sports, right? It's like the look. So Nike differentiates by activity, basically, right? Okay. Here.
We said, like Qdoba or Chipotle, they can have so many different offerings from like tacos, burritos, bowls, quesadillas. And not only that, you have like your steak, chicken, ground beef, shrimp, veggies, and then you have the whole ordeal of stuff you can put on it. And then they also have like chips and queso, chips and salsa, and they also have your kids meal, so they cater to a wide range of customers. There's not really a customer that goes in there and says, I don't find anything I don't like.
Alright, yeah, excellent example. Hey, Chipotle, say Chipotle sells food. Well, it sells food in a different, people like food in a different type of presentation. Some people like burritos, some people like balls, some people like tacos, some people like it up, right? And then you're like, well, what do they offer? Well, we got different proteins, different meats, different veggies, different condiments and side things you can add to it. You can diversify and make it your own. Right? Or you could get little side things like guacamole, just chips and different types of drinks, so. Kind of works for everybody too. Alright, excellent.
We have like two examples. The first one's like Starbucks. It's like you get like hot beans and cold drinks, and like sweet stuff, and like they bring out like a lot of different options as well. And then the second one was sort of like kind of what they're saying, kind of Nike. Like they diversify with different sports, and I guess where you can see like they'll say like this is a Nike bag specifically for basketball, and it's like, but it could technically be another bag, but it's just a reflection that they're trying to reach a specific audience and reach the audience with that specific.
Yeah, you're like, hey, what makes the Nike basketball bag a basketball bag? Nike. Right? In the mind of consumers, that's the only thing that matters. But I don't know, we had a little mesh thing, so in case you guys take these socks, you can hang them on the outside, your shoes, the little zip area to place the shoes, and then a place for the basketball. But in sport, we have a Nike basketball bag. But yeah, sure, you can use it for anything else. You wanna do it. But since we're making a Nike basketball bag, we might charge you a little bit extra, even though really it's a bag, right? So it's all in the perception of the consumers, right? But the presentation that Nike gives is trying to promote a perception. And then Starbucks too. So like, hey, what do we sell? We sell drinks that typically have some caffeine somewhere. We can do it hot, we can do it cold, we can make it super sweet, no sweet, we can make it strong, not that strong, different sizes, right? Depending on the season it is, we have chocolates. And we'll sell you these little tiny sandwiches. We're not in the business of preparing sandwiches for you. That's not what we want to do. We don't think that's valuable to us. We let Subway and Jersey Mike's and all those other people do that. That's not our business. But you can buy you a free package for a sandwich, or throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Hey, have something to eat with your drink. That's how we differentiate. Okay, keep right here.
So you said like Lululemon, because they have like, they have the jackets, they have the sweatshirts, they have different types of like leggings, and they have shoes that you can buy, bags, or something like that.
Alright, so Lululemon, but essentially, so they just differentiate by types of clothing, basically. But would you say they have like a congruent style, or is it about colors with Lululemon? Like, what's the it factor with Lululemon? Like, is it the materials? Is it particular styles? Is it like, oh, Lululemon is vibrant colors? Is it the price point, marketing, what is it?
I think both like marketing and how they kind of like the upper part of it, and all of it kind of comes together, and also like the fabric, you know, like it's designed to like even like most of the jackets are made are designed to make you look a certain way or like feel a certain way, and everything, so kind of targeting people that want like the new style, you know, like chic a little bit while like being almost like comfortable.
Okay, so comfortable chic.
Yeah.
Right, so Lululemon is like, oh, comfortable, the clothes are very comfortable, Hey, look, think of this. We say, all right, we're gonna diversify and differentiate the product. Like, hey, let's go into the business of selling chips. You're like, all right, now we sell chips. Well, what kind of chips? I don't know. How about we have plain chips? How about we have some that are ruffled, have a little creases, the wavy chips? Oh, we have barbecue. What if we have barbecue and honey? What if we had sour cream and chive? Endless possibilities. And then you say, well, you know what? Maybe we don't stop at this chips. What else could we do? What else could we make besides chips? We're in the business of chips. I don't think this is a chip. This is not a chip. What is it? I thought a potato chip was like a pretty flat looking thing. You get the point, like, you're like, hey, you know, what if we do something different with the chip? Like, what do you mean? Well, we make it look like this and call it Cheetos. What if we add the hot version to it and make it flaming hot? What if we add this version to it? And then you stop. What else could we create past that? Past the chip. What else? If we're in that business, what's next? What do you think? Corn chips? Tortilla looking things? Nacho looking things? Things to dip, things to scoop? Popcorn? Oh, let's do popcorn now too, since we're in the business of, we're not even in the business of chips no more. We're in the business of little tiny, hard, flaky substances that people like to munch on. That's the business. And like there's endless possibilities of what you do with it. Go on the popcorn, oh, a cheese version. We'll have the one with the caramel with the cheese. Oh, beyond that, what happened to all people worried about their weight? Let's do a light version, a healthy version, right? The unhealthy version. Oh, by the way, since people like that, what's a complementary product that we can make to go along with all these tiny little things? What could we complement this with? This type of stuff. What could we complement? What's the thing that we could use this to do with something? Dip, right? It was like, oh man, by the way, people like to dip this thing. They like to dip the chip. Also, let's create some complementary dipping products. You know what I'm saying? The possibilities are endless when it comes to different types of people and different types of behavior which they like. So chips is a classic example of differentiating products, product line, product depth. And we'll look at that in a second. All right, what's a product line? We say a particular good that a company sells. Well, product item. Product line, a set of products that are similar or complementary. A product line would be everything Cheetos, not everything potato chips. Everything just Cheetos. Flaming hot Cheetos, regular Cheetos, whatever kind of Cheetos, right? Very similar. That would be a line. We have our line of Cheetos-based products. Products mix. Everything that the company sells. Product line depth. The number of products in the line. Right? So we say, how many Cheetos do we have in that line? How many types of Cheetos? Moving that on. If we were to say Doritos, we'd be like, oh, we got Cool Ranch, we got plain Doritos, we got these Doritos, we got these many number of Doritos, right? Down the line. Product mixed with refers to the number of product lines and brand carriers. Alright, so we're talking those Lay's. We say, oh, you know what, they have Doritos, they have Cheetos, they have X, Y, Z. We're talking candy bars, you're like, oh, there's Snickers, it's Snickers-based product, oh, the pecan Snickers, right, the peanut butter Snickers. Alright, we're like, oh yeah, we sell Kit Kats here, and we sell Reese's. Those right? And you can kind of get as creative as you can get with that. So I think as marketers, we're always trying to push the boundaries of the thing that we have, our core product. Remember, we gotta understand the core product. We're talking about potato chips. You're like, oh, we really sell small, crunchy, flaky things that people like to eat in a bag that they like to munch on. But that's a business. If you think of it that way, you have unlimited possibilities where to go. But if you think of like, we're only into potato chips, you limited yourself. And not only into potato chips, you're ever into every single sort of complementary product that goes along with that core product. Product line filling, a technique used to stop competitors from entering the market by adding products to the line. Back to chips, right? You say, hey, you know what? Our competitors want to come out with barbecue. So let's saturate and create some more barbecue in their product. Barbecue flavored chips, right? Product line stretching, the addition of product lines, right? Just start making up random things. Remember I told you I would go to the hood sometime and into like Cardi B potato chips, right? Nicki Minaj, and it'd be like all sorts of those kinds. You're like, man, you're really stretching. You're like, how far could we go with this? We'd go far. And the basketball players are going, let's have some Kendrick Lamar potato chips, right? Like it's endless possibilities if you really capitalize on it, if you want to stretch it as far as you can possibly stretch it. Stretching downward, introducing a less expensive product line, which can be risky due to cannibalization of the original line. Let's think for Apple, for example. How far can Apple stretch? Well, they really can't. Remember I said Apple cannot make a all-in-one laptop / tablet, a full laptop. That's Apple. Why can't they do that? I got the Surface Pro, and you can take the thing off, and it's a full laptop, not like the iPad Pro. How come they can't do that? Because nobody buy an iPad. Nobody buy a Mac. You would buy the one that has everything, right? It makes it, it's a no-brainer. You buy the one that's a full laptop with tablet features, and you can draw on it, take the keyboard apart. It just makes the most sense. You've eliminated a step. But now instead, Apple's like, oh, we only want you to buy, well, you're gonna have an iPad and a laptop? You're gonna buy two products from Apple? Why? Apple. Why you can't merge them, integrate them into one? Because we want more money, that's why. Right? Hence why you have an iPad and a Mac. So stretching downward, right? So we're talking about that. Kind of risky, making things less expensive. If Apple makes a phone too cheap, then it kind of diminishes the brand too, of it being kind of decent quality phone, right? In the mind of the consumer. Stretching upward, introducing a product line that is more expensive than the company's current offering. How has Apple done that in the past? Have you seen that before with Apple? Where they introduce a product and they made it like extremely expensive. What? Give me an example. Give me an example with Apple.
Vision Pro.
Alright, like hey, the Vision Pro, right? Nobody could really afford that. And then even if you think like, oh, would you really use it? At this point, because it's not really optimized for other things available. It's not optimized for social media. It's not optimized for any of this. Right? So it's like, I don't know. Maybe Apple's just Apple. Once again, we say, hey, first to market usually means market leader. So maybe Apple's like, hey, we've invested heavily in augmented reality. A lot of people don't use it. You have it on your phone. I'm pretty sure you don't use it. Right? How many of you are actually using the augmented reality feature to look to see if you can fit a couch in one of your rooms? You probably don't use it. But Apple, when they originally came out with the Apple Watch, they had a 14 karat gold and a 24 karat gold Apple Watch. And it was like $15,000, $20,000. Right? Like, what's the point of that? What's the reason for that? What do you think is the reason for that? Why have a 14 karat gold Apple Watch that costs like 15 grand? What do you think the reason for that? Yes.
Just give it a chance where probably just wanted to flex.
So just make an exclusive product just for people who want to flex? Okay. What else? What do you think? From a business perspective, from a marketing perspective, why do you think Apple would place out a $15,000 watch? When they first came out with the Apple Watch, what would be the reason for doing it right then? Right? I think maybe Apple's like, hey, one thing we want to do with this watch, other than Samsung, other than Google, and whoever's going to come out with a watch after us, is we want to capture in the mind of consumers that this is a luxury watch. Like how so? Right? We wanted you to think of it almost like a Rolex, right? As a Patek Philippe. We want you to think of it in that way. So we'll release special editions too to show you that hey, it could be like solid gold, just like your Rolex. But it could do so much more than your Rolex. Maybe you put a little Rolex face on it, right? You can switch the face. You can have a different little style Rolex every other day. Right? So in the minds of Apple wanted to be in the minds of the consumer that Apple Watch is actually a luxury watch, right? Because watches typically, the history of watches have been luxury products. If you buy a watch, you kind of buy one that's complicated, Swiss made, automatic, et cetera, et cetera. And Apple wanted to kind of capitalize on that. All right, here's another discussion point. Hey, consider Nabisco and its products, identify what strategy the product has used with its different snack line. Not Nabisco, pick any product you could think of. I want you to think of a food product, right? Not a restaurant, but maybe like grocery style, like things you buy at grocery store. Those brands. Identify the strategy the company has used with its different snack lines. I already mentioned potato chips, so you're gonna have to get clever and think of something a little bit different than potato chips. Think of what their strategies are and how do they go about executing their strategy. We'll give it about 4 or 5 minutes.
I got one. Kettle chips.
Source of revenue.
Change the logo?
Yeah,
Recently?
the colors change on the boxes. Nobody
Ah.
notices it, but I noticed it a long time ago on the box. I think it's a dog.
Mhm.
It changed, the color from the nose and the ears will all change differently depending on what package. So,
Maybe, because you say, hey, a lot of us subconsciously, we might see it as a different product now, differentiation. Consciously, we want, we're like, all right, I know this, I didn't think about it, but unconsciously, we might have thought of it as a different product. So little subtle, sort of subliminal changes like that can alter, consumer behavior. Yeah, great, so you're saying, hey, a little, muffin things, like, hey, they're convenient because they come in a box, but in each box you can pull out little tiny bags, right, take some on the go. You feel like you have a lot for the week, you can use them with yourself, your kids. Confetti style ones, right, all different concoctions of these, muffins. All right, great.
So you said, Coca-Cola, they had, it's not really a snack, but it's like in mind.
Yeah.
But, what they did is, in 2020, they were always kind of like partnered with, Fairlife, but then they acquired it in 2020, and ever since that, like, that's been like a big part of, like the Coca-Cola brand is like, of course, they have Coke, but then they decided to diversify and they started using Fairlife as well, and after it's like been more of it's like leading sources of revenue ever since, which is,
So what does Fairlife do for Coca-Cola? Exactly.
well, it's like, that's like part of their products now, it's like they acquired it.
Okay.
So it's like not only is it the Coke brand where it's like soft drinks, and of course they'll like diversify it by having like holiday specific or even like famous people who like use it and stuff. But now that they have Fairlife, it's like that's their other line of things.
Okay. All right, Fairlife is one of the lines that Coca-Cola has. Coca-Cola could say, hey, we're gonna launch a different line. And what's the new line? We're gonna put people's names on the Coke bottle. So it's gonna be exciting for people to hopefully want to try to find their name with the Coke bottle, so they drink Coke. Or we're gonna put the name of a country. It may be your ethnic background, your heritage. You might want to find, might be fun for customers to find the name of the country they're looking for. All right, so Coca-Cola could come involved with these different type of lines, these concoctions, to help customers sort of buy. Right, and even beyond that, you're like, all right, Coca-Cola just don't own Coca-Cola. What else they own? Pops. So, what do they own? Huh? Coca-Cola. We say Coca-Cola products. So if you go and the store sells Coca-Cola products, what are Coca-Cola products? Google. What's the supplements? There you go. Right, oh, we got Fanta, we got Sprite, right? We have Coca-Cola products. People that like orangey tasting things, people like the lemon lime tasting things, and people that like the taste of traditional Coca-Cola. Right, hey, we have Diet Coke, Coke Zero, right? No sugar Coke. Coke this, Coke that, Sprite this, Sprite that. So in each line of soda that Coca-Cola sell, whether it be Sprite, Fanta, whatever the case, but there's different ones. There's Fanta Diet, right? This is grape Fanta. Whatever, grapefruit Fanta, something of the sort. All right, so each one of those lines is targeted to a different segment. Here.
We did Kellogg's and how they like market to like older people, like younger people, like their snacks.
Kellogg's.
Yeah.
So you're saying, not the cereal.
And it's like, yeah, it's mainly for like the cereal.
Gotcha. Hey, you say Kellogg says, hey, what we're in business of? Grains, have some granola, et cetera, and then like, hey, you know, some people don't, eat box cereal, so let's give them a bar, right? Sort of, Kellogg breakfast bars on the go.
We said Gatorade, how they have all different kinds of flavors, and then they have the powdered form of water. They have, they just have gummies. They have granola bars, their own water bottles, so different kinds of products.
Alright, so Gatorade has all different types of products used for sort of giving you some sort of energy, right? Some boosting, some electrolytes, something that gives you some sort of energy. You may not want it with the sugar, so you do Gatorade Zero or something, so, yeah. And way in the back.
You said, Red Bull, the like target customer, are like people who need energy boosts. So usually have like, college students, gamers, athletes, but also like, most likely they can be seen at the gym as well, the Red Bulls, and they have like, usually at the gym, they have like, zero sugar Red Bull, or they have like different kind of flavors.
Okay. Are you like, hey, Red Bull has different flavors, but maybe their emphasis is more product placement? Where we're gonna place these different type of items? We're gonna place them where people need high energy
Yeah.
to some degree?
Yeah.
Alright, great. Alright, and then, let's see how much time we have. Okay, then we got product life cycle. Just as real life, we're born, introduction, we grow. Right, you're in a growth stage now. Then we hit maturity, kind of cap out, and then we decline, we start getting old. Just like regular life, businesses have a business life cycle, it's the same. Products have a product life cycle, it's the same. Right, and you have different things you should be doing at different stages. If you are introducing a product, you have to first say, what is the concept of going for? If we're luxury, we say charge $5,000 for the jacket. By why? Because that's who we're trying to be. We're trying to be the $5,000 jacket company. We're trying to be the $3,000 pair of gym shoe company. That's what we're trying to be. That will be your introduction. And other companies will have different strategies. Say, no, you know what, we want to be cost leader. We want to be cheapest. Why? Like, well, for cheapest, we can get the most customers, so we're going for value. And maybe with that value, we get the most exposure. Everybody buys it because it's cheapest. That could be a strategy in the introduction area. Right? Or different companies say, hey, we want a sweet spot. Decent quality, decent price, it hits the right mark between the two, right? Or you say, hey, you know, it's not about that, it's about convenience, we can get it to you quickest. Google up convenience, that's what we do. That's our strategy. And then if you're successful, you hit the growth rate, right? You say you grow, like, hey, we're making money, right? We might be making great profits. We gotta still build in that growth stage, right? Maybe we gotta, once again, we add more different product lines. We're like, hey, people really like the core product we sell, so let's just expand different flavors and different options. Then you hit the maturity. And kind of where Apple is with iPhone. Apple's in the maturity stage. It doesn't really innovate anymore. It's just kind of like, hey, push out a new camera, better camera, faster processor, like we say, make it easier for tech geeks to do the stuff that they like to do. But the phone looks the same as it did 10 years ago. It looks exactly the same phone, right? So it has hit a maturity. And then decline. We say that all things die out, right? All things die out. If you're lucky, you are like Mars, you know, and Hershey's with your candy bar, and chocolates, and those can last 75 years, 80 years, 90 years, 100 years, right? Those family-owned businesses. But most businesses don't last that long. Especially if you're in the tech industry, you know, you gotta keep innovating as you go obsolete. Here they're giving introduction as an example, we say electric vehicles, right? So we think of Tesla. Like, I remember when Tesla first came out, they had a Tesla actually like right down the street where I live. Like a Tesla dealership. And nobody ever talked about Tesla. Tesla was like, yeah, whatever, right? There was no grid available, there's no sufficient charging grid. People couldn't afford the cars, they had a lot of problems, a lot of issues, right? And then what happened is people started really kind of think of the concept of an electric vehicle, not stopping at a gas station. It was like the battery technology had to be sufficient for that to be a reality for mass production for the average consumer to have. Once that happens, hey, Tesla takes off, and who happens to come behind it? Everybody else. Right? Now, Honda, Toyota, Honda, Mercedes-Benz, BMW, everybody wants to say, oh, okay, we waited long enough to see if this guy can actually change the market. It appears that he did. So now we all got to capitalize and come behind it. So growth. You say sales increase, but as does the potential for copycat competition. Solar panels. But we can actually just go back to electric vehicles. Copycat competition. You say, make an electric vehicle, add a battery, and do all the interfacing and all of that. And now we're in the game for electric vehicles. Right? Maturity, growth slows and profitability levels off, such as M&M. Doesn't mean M&Ms are bad or losing money, it just means there probably has a cap. It's gonna always be great, but it's not gonna like exponentially grow, right? And it's probably not helpful too if people become more health conscious for their children and for themselves. So that might level it off too. And then decline. It said Amazon Kindle. We don't see Kindles anymore. Kindle died. Anyone has a Kindle? No. No way. Did you still have it?
Kindle Fire, yeah.
Do you still use it?
No, that's my house.
Just laying around, right? You're like, hey, think about it, because that was a very limited product. You're like, oh, a big tablet to read books. You're like, I only have a big tablet that can read books and do a gazillion other things too, right? Fortunately, Kindle didn't capitalize on that. Why? Because they didn't have the operating system sufficient and the marketplace. Who had the marketplace for that? Samsung and Apple, right? And now Google. So Amazon Kindle died because it was very limited in its options for what you could do with a giant tablet just for reading books. All right, here's our last discussion question, real quick. Hey, what impact does the product life cycle have on marketing? Can marketing help products maintain a certain level in the life cycle? So think about it. I give you 2 minutes to think about it before we get out. Think of product life cycle. Think of maybe some companies and brands where you think they are in their life cycle. What are they doing to change? What are they offering because of that? What can they do for that reason?
Now that you say about Kindle, I completely forgot about Nook. Do you remember Nook?
Yeah.
You don't see those here.
Yeah, right. You know, back in the day, the biggest phone company was Nokia, and everybody had Nokia and Motorola. And then Palm Pilot came out and they had a little stylus and that was like the greatest thing ever. But the thing with Apple was the first company really to capitalize on everything possible that you can do just with your finger. So Apple says, let's just use this digit right here to be able to do anything we want to do with the world. And just that concept itself, that's your revolution. quickly, can you think of anything? Who thought of something?
We were talking about like Wallace and Stanley's like gaining traction and then like now they have all of these new attachments to like their water bottles and stuff, so like they're at like the peak right now, and like if that starts falling.
So water bottles? Alright, so water bottles, they're easy, right? Here, sorry.
If you look at leaders now, like after they drop Kanye West, they're trying to go, like now, like they're trying to come back around, they're trying to like these big college stars and big NBA stars, like, and they just released an NBA, I wish you would, like, the face of the NBA. They just signed, Lisa Hudson, Travis Hunter, so it's like, they trying to come, they're trying to make a comeback, because they see like Nike doing their thing.
Alright, so say, hey, with Adidas, Nike, Puma, all those companies, Reebok, their main thing is celebrity sponsorship, right? So you say Adidas dropped Kanye West, that took a big hit, right? Because everybody loves the Yeezys, so now they're gonna go after more bigger athletes and things like that. What about here?
We didn't have like a specific product in mind, but we said that it's really important for companies to know where on the life cycle of the product is. Because something we have it, we're making concessions, one concession where we have a product, China like they back up, you could, find another product that they're on the line, or something that.
Okay, so I'm hearing like, hey, you know what, if, you're on a decline, don't invest in this product anymore, look for something else, or you're like, hey, you know what, change the packaging, let's see if it reinvigorates, brings some life into it. Alright, anything in the back? Real quick, bring it up.
Maybe like TV, how Netflix and Hulu that stuff like TVs like over time, they found smart and watch movies and shows.
Okay, Netflix, what about that? Here.
Yeah, I would say so. Say marketing could, just because like it depends on how long it's out for. I would say. I don't know.
Okay. Alright, great. But think about stores that died off, right? So as you progress through your day, think about the stores that no longer exist and why they fail to innovate in their life cycle. Alright, hey, have your presentation